Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shit. This is episode number 6. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but
We back.
we're back.
We got more for you. I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah. We will try to get more on a regular schedule. We both have very busy lives and families. My bad. So our apologies, but hopefully you will enjoy. All right. Oh, been a while. I'm Lawrence Peterson, and this is my co-host
Chef P.
Jeff P. All right, so today we're going to start off talking about ancestors. Um, I had a thought the other day, and I was wondering if our ancestors could see us now.
Mm-hmm.
What would they think of us? Like, undoubtedly, our ancestors have had it harder
Right.
when you go back to almost any period in time because today is so much easier.
Yeah.
And the world is so much better in a lot of different ways. We don't have to hunt for food. We're not worried about being killed off by some plague or disease. I mean, it's so easy. If you're hot, you can press a button and it'll cool down.
Right.
And if you're cold, you can press a button and it'll heat up. Like comfort.
Little technical.
As for the technical difficulties,
We're glad you
uh,
stuck with us.
yeah,
So, you're right, though. We are living better than most kings in previous times, right? I mean, even with their wealth, I mean, just different the temperature. That can make or break a lot of different things, right?
yeah, that was nothing you had. Think about it. If you said, "Man, wouldn't it be nice to control the weather?" You are essentially doing that within your own house. Like technology is amazing. Like people don't appreciate it because you kind of born into it. Like you take it for granted, and I'm guilty of it. I ain't knocking, but when I think about a car engine, I'm amazed.
Blown away.
I'm
All
amazed.
right.
Like, if you left me and you on an island and left us 5 auto shops, you think we can put together and build a car? Come on. So yeah, I mean, but anyway, I'm running off on a tangent. So, if your ancestors could see you now, what do you think they would say? Like, would they be like, "Oh, well, you know, our basic job was to survive all the way up to this point, which is essentially to make you just like when you have descendants and so on and so on." So, what do you think your ancestors would think about you?
Man. I think I definitely think they'll probably turn their nose up. Like you said, taking for granted technological advances, the ability to not be physically enslaved. Right? I mean, we all have to. Most of us work towards something or
Mhm.
for something, but I mean, I don't think they will be, it'll be all sunshine and roses what they were saying to me or their observation. What about you?
I agree. In a sense, you're going to get some hate because, like you said, you ain't got to worry about being captured and stuff like that, you know. But even if you take that out of the equation, I think they might be upset because it's like saying, okay, you have all these advantages. What are you doing with them? And it's not to say like both you and I are striving, trying to meet certain goals in our life, but I know a lot of people whose only goal is when the new Game of Thrones come on. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like it's just I don't feel we're meeting the expectations of our ancestors.
So what would those expectations be?
I don't know. I think if supposedly the basic thing about humans is to survive, to breed, to continue the family line. Okay, so you obviously want to breed, and then you want to try to make things as best as you can for your descendants. So if that means, all right, maybe you didn't have a great education, you try to make sure you're all right. So if your education is here, you try to make sure, all right, maybe if you have a kid, his education is here, and then he has a kid, his education is here. It's like it's all about climbing the ladder. You know, when I was younger, I was told every generation should do better than the previous generation. And you know, that's something I tried to hold on to, and that's what I feel our ancestors will want. Because I mean, if not, then you kind of pissing on their sacrifices in a certain way.
I can see that. I
You
can
know,
definitely see
like
that.
you. All right, let's say you had several children. Okay, let's say you had 3 kids, 5 kids, whatever, and you saved, you worked hard, and you struggled, and you went without to make sure they had the best to go to the finest private schools, and they go off to college, and then when they did all that, they didn't do anything with it. You gave them all these tools to give them an advantage in life to make their life better, and they just live at home in the basement. You know, what I'm saying?
That'd be a rough one.
When you come downstairs and you look, you probably gonna feel some
Disappointed,
kind of
right.
way. Yeah, like how would that feel to be disappointed in your children? Like I don't know. I mean, I know what it feels to be like disappointed in your parent, but I imagine it's got to be a different thing to be disappointed in your children. Like it's rough.
It is. And I'm not gonna lie, as though that's not a foreign thought that has never entertained or come across my mind. Because what I notice with children now, my children, it's just like, man, I want them to be a certain type of way, and I'm trying to grow them towards a certain type of path.
Mm-hmm.
But these jokers really are individuals. It's like, oh, you constantly redefining and creating who you are every day. And I'm trying to give you good input, a great environment, right? Role model,
Mm-hmm.
Set up appropriate boundaries and, to level out that path.
That's your job. You're a parent. That's your job.
But I'm not going to lie, I have noticed that, like, hey, as simple as it is, my daughter wakes up, her first task is to make her bed, wash her face, brush her teeth, and get ready for school. All right? Amazingly enough, I say that way more times than twice. And not only that, but this what really pops up in my mind. Like, man, is that really any difference to him? When I say I'm not gonna have that brownie on Thursday, not have that brownie until Thursday, but I eat it on Tuesday afternoon. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever it is that it's like, man, they little people, they little individuals, and it's like somebody can tell you don't do it this way. Sometimes I'm thinking, why? So they're like, bump that noise.
Yeah.
I'm about to go do that. So
Yeah.
when you were saying about the whole, man, I could see that. I don't want it to be, and I'm going to continue trying to shape that path in order to get there. What's that game we were watching at the Buffalo Wild Wings where they were shaving the ice?
I don't know what it was. Curling. Yeah, okay.
Right? And it's like the object is moving along a path, and it could veer off, but you out there, you hustling and bustling in order to try to get it go the same way or to get to a certain destination. I think that's applicable and practical here.
That is a great metaphor for probably parenting, man. I didn't think about it. That is a great example. If you guys don't know, there's a game in the Olympics, called curling, and they hit. It's almost like a hockey puck, but it's a lot bigger, right?
It's a little discus, right?
Yeah, like a discus. And the initial guy hits it, and there are two other guys, one on each side of it, and it's on ice, so they try to chisel the ice in a certain way to get it to flow exactly to the desired destination.
it's almost like a bullseye they're trying to get into,
Right.
And you can't go too far, and you
Yeah.
check it
I
out.
had never heard
You
of this,
get, yeah,
but you
right.
check it out. It's interesting. I never saw it before last Olympics. But that's a great metaphor. That is an excellent metaphor for like parenting because that's what it is. All right, I'm trying to get the kid to go where I want him to go, but the kid is still an individual. He's going, all right, I'm going over here and I'm going to go over there. And then you try to get him back into that main position where you want him to be at. Yeah.
But is that any different than us? Is that any different than people, teammates, the people that work for you, or the people?
Yep. Yep. I mean, if you got goals in life, stuff you're trying to achieve, and life is always coming and going, ebbing and flowing. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, all right, I'm trying to do this, but I got to run over here and do this. Then I come back, all right, trying to get back together, but then I got to run over and take care of this unexpected issue I couldn't have foresaw. All right, I'm trying to get it back to where I need to go. Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Lawrence. How can we right now with what we have
Mm-hmm.
make it so if our ancestors were to looking down upon us or were to come and communicate with us,
Mm-hmm.
that it'd be more of a thumbs up type of conversation?
Well, you know what? In a way, I think it's going to come down to you being at peace with yourself. Because no matter what it is you're trying to do, if you get so many people, one person going to say you're doing it wrong. So if you got so many ancestors, there's going to be quite a few that be like, man, no, you doing about this wrong. Like if you were trying to accomplish a task and you're going to say, all right, this is the route I'm going to take, there's always somebody going to say, nah, maybe you should go around the other way. Like, because we all individuals, so we all think differently. So it's got to be in your mind that you know that I'm doing what I feel is the best course of action. Now, the wording of that is uncomfortable to me. I'm going to tell you why. And I actually discussed this with a lady just last week at work.
Okay.
All right. It's this saying that almost every parent has. I did the best that I could. Now, I don't agree with that. All right. If you've seen previous episodes, you know I don't agree with that. I think when a parent says they did the best they could, I think that's rarely the case. But it is what it is. I'm just simply saying, you know if you did the best that you could. And doing the best that you could means holding yourself accountable to a higher standard. And that standard, this is all internal stuff. Nobody would ever know but you. So again, that's what I'm saying. It has to be with you being at peace with yourself, and when you know you slacking, to say, hey, all right, you slacking, get it together, tighten up, accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
You gotta do that.
Don't give yourself that leeway, that excuse, because we all hear that voice to say, man, that's good enough. You can rest now. That's good enough, man. You don't have to get everything. You can just ease into it. You look how far you come, man. You come so far. You can just coast now. You can just take it easy now. You don't have to work as hard now. We've all heard that voice.
As Jocko would say, lies.
Lies. Yes, as my man Jocko would say. Lies.
Lies.
Yes. I love Jocko, man. So, yeah. So you get that voice. And that's the inner voice that we all get.
It's important that it's there, too.
And it's important it's there. But I'm saying there are times where you got to be like, no.
One
more.
bit further.
One more. Because that's usually my reaction. When I hear that voice, all right, just a little further. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that voice that's telling me I can stop. That means I can go just a little bit further.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I think. I think you gotta push yourself and hold yourself to a higher standard. That's something I've always believed in general you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And like I said, this is all stuff that nobody else could see, nobody else could know. So it's easy to be like, I did the best I could. But when you a leader, and being a leader may not necessarily be leading other people, you have to lead yourself.
Right.
So when you're a
That's
leader,
your onus. You
yes,
cannot negate that responsibility.
yes, that
People try to.
man, a lot of people try to. Yes, a lot of people try to. But when you have that, you got to have that inside you. That inner compass to be like, no, we gotta make this happen. We gotta try harder. We gotta push ourselves to the limit. Whatever, you gotta have that inner navigational system that's gonna say,
that intestinal fortitude.
yes,
Is gonna get you through it.
now that voice pop up to say, you know what, you don't need to do all that, and you say, yeah, I don't need to do all that. Then it's easy to say, I did the best I could. You will never hear me say I did the best I no. If you say, all right, why didn't you accomplish this task? I failed. I now that I see there's things that I could have did differently. Some things happened, but all in all, I accept responsibility. I didn't make it happen. That's the bottom line. There's no need for me to try to make an excuse. This,
Like
that,
a
whatever.
flamethrower.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. If even if I'm working with a bunch of people or this, that, whatever, I'm never gonna like, hey, no, it's his fault. Like, no, man, that's not a leader. So like I said, it's easy when you quick to say, well, I did the best I could. I don't think you did nothing. I don't think you did nothing because you just said it too easily. You know what I'm saying? It just rolled off your tongue. That's why I just think it's not an excuse. It's not something you want to let yourself do. It's not something you want to fall in the habit of doing. And if my ancestors come, we probably not gonna see eye to eye on. And I hope that some will see, hey man, he trying to do what he trying to do. But all I can do is have that peace within myself. Because if I don't see my ancestors, I don't want to be laying up old on my deathbed and look back and be like, what if?
Almost.
Could have
did
been
a little bit more.
Could have did a little bit more.
I wish I had a next time.
And they say most people, when they old and they look back, it's not the things that they did that they regret it. It's the chances they didn't take that they regret it.
I heard that before. You know exactly what that really makes me think when I hear that? Yes, it's applied a lot to older people or the people on their deathbeds or dying or dead people, cemetery, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think each one of us can go in and really experience that here and now. Looking at your past, you know a little bit more now because you put me on to that 6 month there, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, you could have did what you putting off tomorrow. You could have started going at it today. Or 6 months ago, you were in a better position now. Maybe finance changes, but how much of this did improve? How many other opportunities improve? So, I mean, when you say that, like, I think of that, like, in the past, man, I should have did this. We all had. So, here's my question to you, Boogie. One, how do we not be as hard on ourselves? I mean, we need to hold ourselves accountable, but how do we not be as hard on ourselves, and how do we also get better from that?
All right. Well, what I like to do is, I'm an introvert. I don't know if everyone who knows me knows that.
They
But I'm
probably
an
know
introvert.
that we're on YouTube now.
Yeah. You guys might not know me as well, Well, actually, if you think about it, the people on YouTube might actually know me
Right.
much better than the people that know me in real life.
Right.
But I'm an introvert, so I tend to spend a lot of time in my head, and so for me, I tend to take a lot of time thinking on the past. You know, I'm always looking for ways I could improve and mistakes I made, and all right, well, if I come across that again, how do I handle it? And I think it all just comes down to self reflection. You know, taking the time to really know yourself. A lot of people don't really know themselves. I don't think. You know,
I agree.
and you know, for some people, maybe that comes in the form of meditation. You know, but for me, it just comes in the form of just taking time to reflect and think. You know, I love to just sit and spend some time alone and just think about stuff. You know, and just just really take it all in. And you got to be honest with yourself. I mean, first off, there's no point in lying to yourself.
Right.
But for some people, it's hard because if you've done things that maybe make it hard for you to respect yourself, they're not going to understand how it could be hard to sit and reflect and think about these things. But if you don't do that, I don't know how you can grow. I don't know how you can move forward. I mean, it just seems like such a important but basic thing, you know.
It's like working on a roof before you done got the basement together
Right,
or the first floor.
right. I mean, hell, if you think about it, it's like the foundation of the house. You
Right.
put the new roof on, but your foundation is all screwed.
You waste your damn time.
Yeah, yeah, you know. So yeah, I mean, but I think yeah, just taking some time, examine yourself, and you know, make sure you know yourself. And from time to time, I'll even talk to people. Like my wife has told me things about myself that I was like, that don't sound like me. It didn't sound right. Then I would go when I would ask other people that knew me and like bounce it off, and then like kind of collect that data from different people that know me and like sit down and look at it and like, all right, so maybe she had a point because if she's saying it and then these other people are saying it, perhaps there's something there. Let me re-examine that. But then on the other case, when don't no similar data comes back to her, then I'm like, okay, well, I think that's just a misconception on her part. I don't see anything from my internal stuff. I don't see anything from external friends talking to them about that. Yeah, I don't think that's me.
That-
So
disregard
I'll
that,
yeah, I'll
right.
disregard that. You know. So yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. You know, and you just got to take things in and examine. And of course, like we were saying 6 months ago, that is, I think, just so vital.
Could you explain that to people just in case they new viewers and they don't get
Okay, so the two of us are greatly interested in self improvement. You know, uh, both of us each have our own goals we're trying to accomplish. Both of us have that potential that we're chasing, and you know, it's easy to be like, well, I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't do anything because we hadn't hit those goals. You know, you it's not that you hadn't hit any goals, but you hadn't hit that major goal. So it's like saying, all right, if I want to be the CEO of some company, or I want to build some $1 million company, or I want to be such and such and such and such team, whatever. If you haven't hit that, it's easy to get lost and be like, well, I ain't doing nothing. This is a waste of my time. But you really got to look back in small increments. And like what I like to do is look back 6 months. You know, if you look back what you gained, the little small steps you've taken forward in 6 months, I think it says a lot. You know, and it's easier one to keep track of your progress. You see that you're progressing, and two, it's easier to hold on to that inner faith because a lot of times when trying to accomplish such a big goal,
it gets questioned.
yes,
That
yes,
question tossed around.
man,
See, you know what I got from yeah. When he's talking about 6 months, 6 months is an arbitrary number, right? It could be 3 months, it could be 3 weeks ago, it could be 3 years ago. What I'm getting from what he's saying is that we trying to get to that highlight film, right? That end goal, and we're forgetting that. All right, in order to get to $1 million, you gotta say that first 1,000. You gotta say the first 100,000, a quarter mil, so on and so forth, right? And just because you didn't hit the 1 million when you said I'm gonna do it in 32 days, but on day 31 you at 500,000. Yeah, one, you learning a whole bunch, right? So 6 months from there, where you going, all right, I'm gonna hit 1.5 million because now I finally got the million. That stuff that you weren't able to do before, the stuff you didn't know, you didn't learn, you can't jump, you can't leapfrog that, right? You can't just go from where you are right now to your end goal like that. Unless you're a genie, and if you are, please come visit me and help me out. You know what I'm saying? I can put you to some good work. But and I dig that 6 month theory. I mean, that 6 month idea. Like, the person you are today is not who you were 6 months ago.
Not at all.
You know more. You better. Maybe your body's not functioning the same, but how many different ways are you better than before? Would you fall for the same pitfalls or errors that 6 month person 6 months ago? No. And if you would, shame on you. That's once again what he's talking about, that insight, looking at yourself, self-awareness. Go back, revisit that. Be honest with your inventory. It's only for the wild you.
Yeah, and I think it's actually harder to see in yourself. You know, like when I look back, it's sort of like when somebody comes to you and say, "Hey, P, I got this problem. Can you help me out?" And you be like, "All right, well, what it is?" And they tell you what the situation, and you like, "All right, do this, this, and this." Oh man, yeah, that's great. It's something about it's easier to see someone else than it is to see yourself, and I think it's maybe because you're so in it that it's harder to see. Because when I look back at you, I can see your progression a lot better than I can see my own. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes for you to tell me to remind me, like, oh yeah, I did do that. Yeah, yeah. You know, so it is hard to see it yourself, but you still have to look back and try to do it. You know, and as the more and more you do it, the better and easier it will come. You know, it's like developing a skill. You know, it's a mental exercise, really.
It's a very healthy one too. It
Yes.
makes your mind expand. That gaining self awareness, noticing those things that you do, because we, like you said, great example. Significant others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do or do not notice. I don't like when dishes are not rinsed, right? Like don't put a dish with ketchup or something on there. Like,
right.
Just rinse it off, make it easier for the next person. But if you do it, you're in a rush. Hey, I gotta hurry up and get out. But somebody, damn, you left another dish in here without. Right? But you catch yourself doing it, turn the water on, rinse it off, put it away like nothing ever happened, right? So I feel you when you say that it's easier the outside looking in.
Yep.
And our society, it teaches us to do that, but not a lot of us do the opposite.
Yeah. I also think self-awareness is important because you need to know when you're wrong. Like, I don't know what it is. People today feel like they're never wrong. It don't matter. I ran to your house. I attempted to rob you. You shot me. You wrong for shooting me. And I'm just like, but you don't examine your own part of that equation, you know.
I was just trying to eat. Me too.
Yeah, you know, like, wait a minute. I had to work hard for everything I have, and you just wanted to take it. And if I stopped you from taking it, then I was the wrong person. You know, it's so weird. Like, you don't have that. People don't have that ability to examine themselves to realize, no, you do some wrong. Like everybody does some wrong. It's not saying that you're ever going to be this perfect being. That's part of being human. Like you're fallible, but you want to try to be as less as possible.
Right.
You know, I mean, you just got to be aware. Like just last week, I was driving, and you know you're driving, you're aware of the road, and I'm coming to this cross street. Okay, I got the green light, but I see this woman. She coming up, and she's gonna roll and turn down the street. I'm proceeding down. She looking, but she didn't look in our direction to see if traffic was coming towards her. She's just looking to see if the street that she's about to turn down is clear. So as I'm going and I see her doing that, I blow the horn. So then she stops, like she becomes aware of me. And my wife was in the car. Now my wife looks at her. I'm not the guy to give you dirty looks, but my wife will give you a dirty look. Like she looked at her, right? And I heard the lady scream out something, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wait, you were in the wrong, and you're screaming at us. It's like you feel like, how dare you point out something I was doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like, we really need to get out of that because it's not a good road.
You know what? I think there's a. You hit the nail on the head when you was talking about that. I don't think a lot of people will accept failure, accept error, accept messing up or being off or not getting it. But I think that's valuable. All of us have seen the meme where it says straight line is not a straight, success is not a straight line.
Yes.
Right? Those failures, that lady, if she would have any type of self awareness or was looking to get some self awareness, that would make her, oh, I need to be more aware of what's going on in the road.
Yes.
All right, maybe you lost, maybe you got GPS, but still, it's better that you blew the horn as opposed to smashing or T-bone or whatever, right? And now our whole day is thrown off. But she didn't take that. Just like anything that you do in life, you're gonna. Even Michael Jordan or Stephen Curry don't hit all net every single shot they throw up. And I think that's important that how you don't get your rebounds up if you don't never, you know what I'm saying, catch it, something is off.
Yeah.
If you'll never dish the ball off and help some, you need those different things. So I think, like you're saying, people, the self-awareness, and people just afraid of the failure and error.
But here's the thing. If you refuse to accept the fact that you might fail, then you will never learn from those mistakes. Case in point, that situation where I'm driving with the young lady, if she gets mad, okay, and she doesn't learn from that mistake, the next time she does that and it's somebody else. Now the other person is just like her. I ain't paying attention to nothing. I'm just doing me. Right. I'm on the phone, whatever. Bam, collision. Okay? The only reason I wasn't in a collision because I was in tune to what I was doing. So, bam, there's a collision. Now, potentially, 2 cars are damaged. Her, and maybe if she got other people in the car with her, the person that hit her, who might have other people in the car. Like, this is a potential.
A lot of
lives impacted, yeah. And this is all because you refuse to look at yourself to think you might do something wrong. Now, I remember an old Jay-Z lyric where he made a statement like, as long as I learn from a loss, as long as I learn from a lose, it's not a loss. And basically saying like, look, if I can make a mistake, but I learned something from that mistake, then it wasn't a total loss. I got something out of it. And a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of millionaires will tell you they've learned more from their losses than they have from their wins. If you win, if I come through and I dominate or whatever and I just win, that's great. That's awesome. But I didn't learn anything. So when I come against something and I lose, all right, how can I get better? What was my weaknesses? Why did I lose? Now, even though I took that loss, I'm a much stronger player now because of that. You know, Michael Jordan, when he lost to the Detroit Pistons,
right,
he said, I will never lose them again. That was the start of the Michael Jordan we know. Arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Jordan was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're not willing to learn from those losses, man, I don't know how you can progress. I don't know. Like I just don't think you're going to go far like that.
You know what? You brought because this goes on with that failure thing, that the whole when you're practicing,
Mm.
how often do you mess up? Isn't it better to get it off, get those failures or get those mess ups? If you shoot, if your thing is to play basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant. That's my
Ooh.
this dude. One of his old teammates was talking about him. They on this podcast, and he was talking about, man, I learned the big valuable lesson from Kobe Bryant, and apparently Kobe Bryant, he was inside the court one day, and Kobe Bryant is known to be the first person inside the gym and the last person outside of the gym. That's his thing, right? Well, this dude was there early before him, right? So Kobe, he saw, he goes to the other side of the court, and he's playing, but they got a game going on this day, right?
Right.
And, they the fucking Lakers. So, and he's doing his thing, and nobody leaves, right? And he goes over like, man, why you spending so much time in here? We got a game later on today. We got training and all this other stuff. It's like, I just want you to know that I'm not afraid to work harder and longer than you. That was his whole point. Like, that's his. Hey, and can you really beat that man?
Ooh.
Can you really beat that man who's not afraid to keep going? All right, look, I'm not doing it. He's not doing it to prove it to him. He's proving that to himself. Look, I'm not afraid to outwork somebody else. You can have a better jump shot. You can have a better speed. You can have whatever it is. But I'm going to keep working on what I'm here to work on. I can't help but to admire that.
You know what's interesting?
Good catch.
You know what's interesting? It's almost like so many people say the same thing. Because you saying that, and I've heard Kobe say that. And you know who else says something like that?
Will Smith.
Will Smith. I will not be outworked. We get on this treadmill, one or two things gonna happen. Either you gonna get off before me, or I'm gonna die on this treadmill. And I'm like, I got such respect for that. Such respect for that. Like that, man. Like I try, and I don't know if I'm at that level yet, but that's what I'm striving to get, man. And I think I heard somebody else. You gotta be uncommon among uncommon people. Those are uncommon people. So to get to that level, you gotta get up to that level. Like you got those people you looking at. Those are people you looking at. It was like, all right, so
at first I thought you said that wrong, but hearing that, it's like, ooh, that's right. No, that is, you're doing something.
yeah. What they say, to beat a man, you gotta beat a man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is,
Yeah, I like that, man. Ooh.
So yeah, you gotta raise up. Like that's what I'm saying about elevate your standards. If you looking at Kobe, if you looking at Mike, if you looking at Will Smith, you looking at anybody who was excellent in their field or anything, you looking at a higher level, higher caliber individual. You not gonna get there being average.
Right.
Like E.T. say, I'm allergic to average. I can't do average. We're not doing nothing average. What has average ever got you? Average is by definition not excellent. Good is the enemy of great. Now, what do you want to be? You want to be good? You can be good. You can live a comfortable life. Have the 2.5 kids. You can get the American dream, and that's great. That's cool. And you'll have life. You'll enjoy life. But if you want to be great, that's a much harder road to hoe. It's a much higher standard to elevate yourself to. That's a worthy goal. You know what that made me think about? Vikings. Okay. I know that's a weird connection, but when Vikings talk about raiding and plummeting and then dying on the battlefield to go to Valhalla, that was what that thing about me. Like, look, yeah, I died, but I look at the strides I made. Look what I've accomplished. Look how I've grown. Like, I feel like I'm getting energized just talking about this. Like, that's on some next level.
So let me ask you this then, buddy. That person, he has this mindset that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The do or die syndrome. They going after what they're trying to do. They are completely focused.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens, they go on vacation. somebody in the family passes and they got to take a couple days off and go to a funeral, whatever, right?
Mhm.
They get sick. Life gets in the way and throws a curveball, right? Murphy's Law,
bound to
whatever,
happen.
right?
Yeah.
And you've been off for a couple days. How do you get back on?
Ooh.
How do you turn your mojo back on?
Now that is interesting because that's something I've been thinking about lately. All right, some people don't like to take vacation because they feel it's losing momentum.
Mm.
I gotta be honest, I'm one of those people. Like if I could just do my thing and paint 24/7, I'd be a happy man. I don't like to stop. I don't like stopping and going. I want continuously go because I feel like I got that momentum. I'm in my stride. I just want to keep going. If I gotta stop and do this and stop and do that, then I gotta start back up. Then I gotta build the ramp back up, and just so yeah. I mean, now some people are not like that. Other people they're able to stop and go, and it's no issue. And I guess it just depends on what kind of person you are.
You gotta know your chronotype.
You
right?
gotta know,
your
yeah.
person,
So for me, I've had to do that, and if you are a strong enough person to say fuck it, I'm gonna be selfish, and I know that sounds horrible.
There's nothing wrong with that. You have to do that from time to time.
You have to do that from time to time. If you're strong enough to do that and say I'm not going to accept the stopping for any reason, you can just push through it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I remember talking about this when he was lifting. He was in the championship for the I think it was Mega Man or Muscle Man or something, and he got that call from his mom that his father died. And he told his mom, look, I'm very sorry, but there's nothing I can do about that where I'm at right now. Because she was back in Austria and he was, I think, in LA. He's like, look, there's nothing I can do about that right now. I'm very sorry. And to be honest, I really just can't deal with this right now because of what I got going on. So once I get finished, I'm going to call you back and we can go more into this. But right now, I just can't do it. And some people might say, man, that is cold. That's your father, that's your mother. And I can understand how you would have that perspective. But I also understand Arnold's perspective. Right. I don't know if I'm strong enough to make that call, but I certainly understand the point of view.
It's admirable. Right.
Yeah. So, that's one way to go. But as far as me, when I have to deal with that, I try to just pick myself up and keep going. I try not to allow myself to get distracted, but of course I do. There are times where I have to stop for whatever reason, and I'm trying to get myself back in the momentum of things, with something I'm currently going through as we speak. And what I try to do, what really kind of pulls me, is I'll look for a little inspiration. So for me, as far as art, I'll start looking at an art book of artists that really kind of revs my engine, and then like after so much, I'm just juiced. Like, all right, I looked at all this awesome stuff. I'm ready to go paint now. Like, and then once I can get that routine back in place, get my groove back on, then I'm back on the track and I'm back running, But yeah, I really hate getting off track. So it's a struggle, to be honest. It's a struggle, but it's just something we got to deal with,
You know what? And you were saying that I don't know why. I try to, when I hear things, I'm trying to picture it and see. All right, how is that relatable? That confirmation bias, right? I'm trying to confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, what can I learn from this? What? The first thing, it made two things come to mind. The first thing is when you're out running and you get tired, everybody gets tired, right? Mm-hmm. But the second win, like when you're going, if you stop, yeah, you can get that second win, but you also got to make up that momentum, that time lost, the distance lost, all those different variables. But if you keep going, even if you're slowing down because you're tired, which is okay. That second wind kick in for some reason. All right, yeah, you can go a lot more further than you thought, right? If you would have stopped at that first initial point. But it also made me think, because you said not everybody's like that. I'm one of those people. I enjoy a routine. I'm all about removing chaos and that other stuff that comes, because it's gonna be something's gonna pop up. Mm-hmm. So as much as I can reduce and remove, that's why I advocate the routine and the consistency of patterns and such. But I'm also a big advocate of that small leads to big, because the opposite of that, when you're working out, right? You tear down your muscles, and it's when you go to sleep, when you nourishing yourself, when you're at work, and you're not inside of that gymnasium or doing that activity that you're doing, that they refortifying themselves, coming back and making better connections, right? Strong connections, getting used to, all right, we did 135 last time. Now he's making me do 140. This still not, last time was easier than this one. Mm-hmm. But it was still work, right? It's still going, and it's just, that was only 5 pounds. But that 5 pounds over the course of 3 months, if you go from a bar, you can get up to 225, 300 pounds. You can make a lot of progress from that. It's that small least a bit, just keep chiseling. So when I lose my mojo, you know what I think of? Because it's the same thing when you're working out. Just take a break. If you lifting heavy all the freaking time, or you doing as fast as you can, you're gonna hit a wall. So when you hit that wall, it's okay. It's supposed to be there. I think take that break. Maybe you're gonna think you're gonna take a step back and be like, all right, you know what? I need to bring a sledgehammer out to knock this fucking wall out. Or maybe you're gonna think back, it's not that high. I could probably scale this motherfucker. Or there's a door down there on the left, but you need that introspection. So that little week, it might even be just you're not lifting, or you're not running, or you're not whatever that you're doing. It could be, all right, I'm going to a much reduced pace. I'm only 20 minutes. I'm just going, let's say I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. If it's me at the gym, look, I'm just going on a walk. That's it. I'm just going on a nice little walk. But I can still break myself off and get winded and enjoy myself with a walk. It's doing your thing. That commit to that practice. So, but I do agree with you about that, maintaining the momentum and keep going forward. But I think those little stops, it's that 6 months ago thing once again. Like, why is that there? What am I supposed to get from this? To not being afraid of that failure. Like, all right, well, if I keep doing this, I'm not getting through that wall if I just charge ahead of that motherfucker. Right. How can I get around this joker?
Well, hearing you explain it, it occurs to me that maybe, all right, if you hit that block, maybe you could switch up the routine a little bit, So it's like, all right, well, I've been doing this one thing and I'm having problems. You know what? Let me switch tracks, and I'm going to do this other thing that's still related overall, but it's just a different thing.
You polish skill still.
And still polishing skill. So it's like you're still moving forward, even if you're not moving directly in the direction you want to go in. Also, I don't know how this might apply to everything. I don't know if it will apply to everything. But you know what I've noticed? With me, if I end up, like, I get in that thing where I have to take the time off, I find that when I do come back, there's almost always a jump. Not only as if I hadn't stopped, but it's a jump forward, as if, like, it gave my brain some time to almost, like, all right, you've been studying, you've been learning, and you've been applying, but since now you took time off from applying, that I can really put this stuff together. Because it's been like, okay, you haven't had time to paint, and when I go back to painting, I notice, like, all right, I was painting at a level here, and it goes up to here. And I'm sitting there like, well, that really shouldn't happen because I wasn't painting.
Right.
But it almost always does.
Counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, it almost always does. So I don't know if that applies to everything, but I know for me, that's been a lucky thing that's kind of happened.
You know what? I forget this guy's last name, but I know his name Paul. But he was talking about this, and he's a weightlifter. He's talking about the same concept because he's a power lifter, so he's about lifting super heavy weights.
Mm-hmm.
He say sometimes you're in there doing this stuff, and the weight just feel like a staple to the floor. You just can't go. Like that's that time where you just take that. It's your body giving you biofeedback saying, "Hey, I need to take this break." And when you do that, you come back. It's challenging, but you're right though. Maybe your form got better. Maybe you're a little bit short. You feel like, now, all right, that's enough weight. That's a week, man. I did too. I'm ready to get back in. I'm ready to get back in there right now. My bad. I'm ready to get back in there right now. And like, you getting a biofeedback once again. The course correction saying, yeah, it's time to go. And that natural hunger, that natural calling tells you to go back in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, you done made that super leap, even if it's just a mental leap. But still, that's a win. That is a big win.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, those. I think it's almost like there's even though you're progressing forward, there's almost another part of you that's always a little bit behind, and maybe when you take that rest, it gets a chance to come up. Because like for me, well, my thing art, even when I'm not painting, it's still running in the background of my head. Whenever I look at something, when I see how the light falls on something, when I see the way the light affects the color, all that, it's in my mind. So it's always processing information. So even if I'm not painting, how would I paint this? How would I approach this color? How would I approach this scene? Oh, that's interesting. Look how the light, falls off his skin. Now I would imagine it's probably similar for other people when you're really deep into your craft, So for me, like I said, when I get that time off, it's almost like all that's been running get a time to catch up. Like your body stopped, but now your mind's like, okay, I can catch up to where y'all at now. And like I said, whenever I come back, it's like a huge leap forward. It's almost like a slingshot.
Right.
You're
pulling it
this
back.
part's going forward, and this part, and then when you stop, I'm coming,
Full force.
Full force, yeah.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I never thought about that. I thought that was just me. But you're right though. when I'm thinking about stuff, like I keep catching myself leaning forward and I keep repositioning myself back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, all right, is my head over my earlobes over my shoulder and center? Do I have any curvature in my back? How am I doing? What am I doing in my posture, in my structure? Am I just hanging on the meat? Mm-hmm. It's like, I know most people not thinking about that, but it's something. And it's just your training is like, all right, you get to shape up your own infrastructure or your mental infrastructure or how you want to maneuver and how you want to work. And it's everywhere.
Exactly
when I see people like,
it's your training. That's exactly what it is.
I like that.
Earlier this week, we were having a conversation, and I was asking you about the difference in marksmanship, and you were saying like the difference, I think, between the Marines and how often they shoot, and then the Army and how often they shoot. Like, I don't know if it was like how often they go to the range, I think, or let off rounds or something. Do you kind of remember that? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
We're talking about the difference between a marksman and a sniper, I think.
Right.
And it was like a marksman is a designation. Let's say you had, I'm not sure about the numbers. Let's say it's 32 out of 40 or 27 out of 40, right?
Okay.
Whereas that's good enough. As a marksman, you go qualify twice a year, maybe 4 times a year, maybe more, depending on where you at. But with the sniper, they're so significantly better or so drastically better because whereas that person's putting in 200 rounds every quarter, they're putting down 2,000 rounds every month. So, I mean, the amount of growth and if somebody's at the range, Kobe's shooting 4 hours a day and you're only shooting around an hour and a half or 45 minutes, he's going to always fucking whoop you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to always best you because more time, more learning from the film. Man, when I do it like that and I don't follow through, it bounces off. I'm
Yes,
going on a
yes.
tangent.
I'm gonna no, because I want to elaborate that. I'm gonna elaborate on that. That's why I wanted to retell it. All right, so we were. It started off. We were talking about the show Shooter, and I was telling you about about the sniper and stuff, and then we got into that like the marksmanship. Now you were saying that this guy we know named Devin, he draws and I draw, and you were like, all right, well if you're doing more hours than he is, and then he's putting in some hours, but he's not nowhere near matching your hours. And then both of y'all go to present to a client to say, "Hey, we wanna do your portrait." So I put down my version, he put down his version, and the guy looks at him and he's gonna say, "Well, I'm gonna clearly go with you. You look like you been doing this a lot longer. It's a lot better. You see the skill demonstrated." Now, when you said that, something clicked. You know, there's this one artist that runs a school, and he always talks about repetition. Repeating certain basic skills over and over, and like drawing basic things over and over, and like how often he does it. Like he doesn't like the whole college system. But okay, you learn this, then you move on to the next thing. He's like, no, you gotta keep drilling those basics over and over. And I thought it was interesting, but I was like, I ain't never heard nobody doing that. So when you gave your example of when you see the difference between myself and Devin, and when you talked about, okay, well, these guys, they're shooting so often, and these guys are shooting so often, clearly, these guys over here are going to be a lot better marksmen because of how much time they put in. When you said that, everything clicked, and like I just related it to art because that's how I tend to think. Like I don't,
The mental framework.
yeah, the mental framework. So I was like, oh yeah, like immediately I was like, no, that guy with the art school knows exactly what he's talking about, and that's I'm gonna turn my way of doing that over there to like how he does it. Because I mean, the way he does it, it requires a lot more discipline. That's why a lot of people don't do it like that. But you're going to be the superior artist in the end, And now I was telling you about that show Shooter, and I just finished off the first season last night, and it was him and this other guy. This other guy had this thing like, man, I'm better than you, man. And now the guy Shooter was the actual sniper in the Marines. The other guy, he got like his foot blown off or something, so he never served, but he was working with private military or whatever. So they get into it or whatever, and he's like, man, I'm better than you, man. And then the sniper was like, look, you sit off on a rock, you sit there all nice and calm, and you take your shot. That's cool. He was like, try doing that when you got people shooting around you, you got enemies coming from this direction, you got command in your ear telling you one thing. He was like, I'm the sniper. It's a whole different world between us. And I thought about that because that also relayed that message about what this guy was saying. Like, look, you can have people that draw and you can have people that paint, and they might be good at it. But
Natural talent, right?
yeah, natural talent. But when it comes down to when you need to do it consistently, your product has to look consistent. You have to meet deadlines. That's when becoming a professional illustrator comes into play. Not everybody can do that,
The difference between the amateur and the
difference between the amateur and the professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Big difference. That's why I wanted to retell that story because I'm like, oh, like everything just clicks into place. And that's like what I was saying before about being that uncommon person among common people. That's what it takes to strive to that higher level. When you want to achieve mastery at anything, you want to become the top dog at anything in your field. Those that's the kind of level you're gonna have to rise to. I think. It don't matter what the field is. It don't matter what it is. You always have guys. Oh, I'm a savant. I'm just a natural this. I'm a natural that. That's great.
Right.
But if you ain't willing to put everything in and take it to that level, don't matter.
Pretty much don't count.
Yeah,
It's gonna
even
go away
LeBron
one day,
James.
right.
LeBron James is arguably the best basketball player currently, just because of his physical build. All right, he has a great build for that. And you can say the same thing about Michael Phelps in swimming. However, you see those guys train hard. They're not sitting on the couch waiting for the game to come, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still got to put it in. It don't matter what natural talents you have.
So, so let me. Here's a question. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that should help this for later. So is it that you should be an uncommon person amongst common people, or is it
No.
that you should be an uncommon person amongst uncommon people?
You should be an uncommon person amongst uncommon people.
Man,
But to get to that, you're gonna have to be an uncommon person amongst
Amongst
common people. That's level one. That's level two.
right, man, because that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a good ass. You doing something, you make it there.
But if you look at them, if you start naming guys off the list, if you name, or we already named Jordan, you already named Will Smith. If you say Denzel, if you say what's his name,
Tesla.
Ed Millett,
Nikola Tesla,
Nikola Tesla,
Elon
Elon Musk,
right?
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all these guys are uncommon. It don't matter who you talk to. Some people might say good things about them. Some people might say horrible things about him. Steve Jobs, fucking asshole. But you won't say they was average. It don't matter who you talk to. You won't say they was average. Uncommon among uncommon people.
I like that.
I don't even know if we need to go any further than that. That
Yeah.
sounds like the perfect ending note right there.
I like that too. So just come back at you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, look, if there's anybody out there and you trying to do something with your life, you know, whatever goal that it might be, your goals don't have to be super grand on a mega scale. Like I want to build this like new application. It's gonna build this like super corporation or whatever. It doesn't always have to be like that. It could be my goal is to raise a good family, make sure my kids have the best they have. Whatever it is,
You get to decide that.
you get to decide that. But I'm telling you, whatever it is, you're not gonna get there by being common. You're not gonna get there by being average. It's just not gonna happen. You know what? Let's not end there. There is one other topic I kind of want to delve into that kind of relates to this. Jordan Peterson talks about how you got to be a phoenix and you got to kind of burn away the old dead wood of yourself. You know, those, and like when you look back on yourself 6 months ago and you see how you develop, sometimes you're going to have to burn away those bad habits, those bad things about yourself, those things that are holding you back that you know, man, this is a weakness. I got to get rid of this, you know.
I'm thinking of a couple right now.
Yeah,
Right.
we all got them. And you know what? Other people might not see them. Other people might not notice them, but we know.
Right.
Because you know yourself. So we know. And sometimes that's not even internal stuff. Sometimes that might be outside stuff. You know, you might have old friends and you like, I love this guy. But every time I hang around with him, I kind of end up in some shit. Or I get dragged into something, or I'm around and something bad go down. You know, it ain't like I'm really doing nothing, but
Whatever that is, you know that's not
Yeah.
the position you're supposed to be in or
Yeah.
you want to be in.
you know the gravitational pull of that person sometimes just bring negativity. You know, and I think sometimes in order for you to be that great person you're trying to be, you're going to have to burn away those things and leave certain things behind. And it's not necessarily because you want to, and it's not necessarily because you have, because you, I'm a kind of person, I feel loyalty. Like, loyalty is very important to me. And I don't want to leave your people behind. It's like, look, I'm trying to move up. Take my hand. Let's go up together, you know. And when you trying to go up, if you trying to swim upstream, but the person whose hand you trying to pull, not trying to move, he's just standing still.
Treading water, all right.
So what are you
Float
gonna
by.
do? You know, do you just try to force him? If you try to swim upstream, so now I got one hand instead of two, and I'm trying to swim upstream, and he got two hands, and he trying not to move. So what are you gonna do? You gonna stay here with him, or do you let go and go upstream?
Gotta go upstream.
Gotta go upstream. But if you go upstream, oh man, you change, man. You sell out. Oh man, he forgot where he came from. Like it's
Enjoy
so
being
much
down
stuff.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your take on that? What do you think about the whole burning of dead wood?
I mean, I'm agreeing with you. And trophy. I disagree with you. I mean, there's always some things that you can shape off and make better.
Mm-hmm.
The dead weight. I mean, as soon as you said that, I'm thinking. I had this other NCO. He said this line. He was talking about when you got to talk to a soldier and get a haircut, whatever it is. It was something like he said that if I got to tell you twice, that's too much like begging, right? And I always remembered that. I always remembered that. I was like, man, I like that. So if I tell you twice and I'm trying to pull you up, so you going upstream. That's already about to be more than enough challenge. What if it's some rocks? What about if it gets shallow? What if it gets deep? What about when you get tired? There's so much that you don't want to come along with me. Enjoy where you at, and I get you. That's your people's. I'm big on loyalty too, but it's like, man, I'm never gonna see what's up there. I'm going up there for a reason. Maybe downstream is taking us to a waterfall or a cliff. We're going there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go there? That's cool. That's on you. I also been saying this other thing. I'm gonna say that for another day. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But
All right. Man, sometimes I think about when, hopefully, if I can become as successful as I want to, and hopefully a good part of that will lead to mass financial success. I want to reach back and help people out. All right, here goes some money. Here goes a house. I'm gonna just give them a restart in life. But then, what I think the other part of me says. There's Joe Budden's lines. There's Joe Budden's line that says, "Better living should be earned, never fed or given." And I was like, that line always stuck with me because it almost seemed like, all right, if I reach back and help you, will I always be reaching back to feed you because you're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? If a person doesn't want to go anywhere, they don't want to go anywhere. Like I was listening to this one rapper, Lil Boosie, was giving an interview talking about his baby mama, and he said her family is poverty stricken. Now, if you ever heard Lil Boosie talk, he's not the most articulate guy ever. But the way, but the way he said it, I knew exactly what he's talking about. He said, "Look, they're poverty stricken. You can give them a whole bunch of money, and it will still make sure they're right back in the same place they were before the money happens." And I think that's true because that would explain why so many people win the lottery, and then 3-4 years they broke
over 70% of them.
Yeah, I'm like, how? How are you doing that? And that's what I think it is. I think it's like a thermostat. Your thermostat is set at 80 degrees. It gets a little hot. Thermostat kicks on, cools it back down to 80. If it gets a little cold, thermostat kicks on and heats it back up to 80. I think a lot of people, you got an internal thermostat. Like, as much as people might be like, I don't want to be here and I don't like it, I'm not sure that's actually true. I think some people like where they're at. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just conflicting feelings within me.
You know what? I used to hear this saying that I was like, man, that's bullshit, man. No fucking way. That's not how that works. And they would say, if you want something different, if you want your life to be different, then you'll make it different. And at first, I found that offensive. Like, man, nah, you just undercutting it, right? But think about it. And I'm pretty sure we all got our own different things. But the person, when the next time you gonna do heroin?
I'm never gonna do heroin.
I mean, but you know what that high's like the first time?
I don't give a fuck.
You'll never get it again, but that first one,
It doesn't matter.
and that's what I'm getting at. Like those different things, but it might be for me. It's a sweet tooth, right? For other people, it's shopping online, right? Somebody else is the Starbucks